what's up, y'all? My name is Chris Abbott, but all my friends just call me Abbo. And in this video, we're going to be walking you through exactly what a church of 350 people did to go from 350 to 800 in only 4 weeks. So make sure you stick around all the way to the end because we're going to walk you step by step through the exact framework that they used so that you can plug and play this at your church. So let's dive into how a church grew from 350 to 800 in only 4 weeks, coming up. Okay, so a little while ago, a friend of mine reached out to me because his church plant that had been around for about 5 years, was running about 350 people, was getting ready to move buildings, right? So they were moving from an elementary school over to a high school. And if you know anything about church planting, you know moving buildings can be a real nightmare. Not only is it a pain, but you tend to lose a lot of people in the process. In fact, I've been a part of 4 different church plants over the years, and all 4 of them lost about half of our people whenever we moved buildings. In fact, one of them literally moved down the street a block. You could throw a baseball from the old building to the new building, and we still lost half of our people the very first Sunday that we did it, right? So he kind of called me up and just said, hey, Abbo, what do you recommend when we move here? Like, how exactly would you get the word out and kind of help us make sure that we don't lose people, right? So I said, well, I would probably do this, 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 and this, right? And he said, okay, awesome, thanks, man. Calls me back the next day, says, man, bro, I have no idea how to do any of that stuff. Can I just hire you to do it for me, right? So we ended up teaming up for the next 60 days, and we had some pretty incredible results. His church was running about 350 people, and 4 weeks later at their grand opening, they had 800, right? And then they settled at about 700 after that. So they literally doubled their church in about 4 weeks. So what I want to do is kind of walk you through step by step exactly what we did at his church in order to accomplish this so that you can do this at yours. Now, this works not just for grand openings. This could work for Christmas or Easter or any type of event or grand opening or even a church launch if you are a church plant. So let's dive in. All right, so the first thing that we did is we created a landing page that only talked about the grand opening, right? So here's the deal. I know that based on like human psychology and just the way that our brains are wired is that human beings are attracted to new, right? Like we love novelty, we love new, we love being first. And so what we wanted to do is we wanted to talk about the grand opening, right? We didn't want the message to be, hey, we're moving buildings, right? We wanted the message to be, hey, we're having our grand opening on Sunday, August 9th at this location. So everything became about the first service, the grand opening, right? Because people love to be a part of new, they love to be first, they love to be part of that. And so we crafted all of our language to be about that. We had pictures of smiling, happy people, and then we had a button where people could actually plan a visit to the very first service, right? That way we could collect their name, email, and phone number, and then we could follow up with them. We could remind them about the service a couple of days before the service, and then we were also going to be able to follow up with them for several weeks after the service. So creating a landing page was an important step one and making sure that we had a way to collect people's information whenever they plan to visit. Okay, so it's step number 2. I had Pastor Wes create a selfie video. So I said, hey, I want you to go outside, go to the new building, and I want you to shoot this just outside, just vertically on an iPhone, and all in one take, just kind of invite people to the grand opening, right? Introduce yourself, let them know how excited you are, and then just invite them out to the grand opening. And then we uploaded that to Facebook, and we created a targeted Facebook ad. So I basically just dropped a pin on the location of the new high school where they were going to be meeting, and I drew out a radius of about 10 miles because in that city, that's about what driving distance was. And then we started getting that ad out to everyone. We left the targeting wide open and targeted everyone between the ages of 18 and 65 plus. And we just tried to send as many people as humanly possible from the Facebook ad to the landing page that we set up so that they could plan a visit. Now, the cool thing is literally the very first week that we did this, he started getting planner visits and his attendance already went up. So they had been running about 350 and they had 375 the very first Sunday just from running that video ad to everyone who lived within driving distance of the church. Okay, so next up for week 2, we decided let's have Pastor Jen be in the video as well, right? So in the first one, it was just Pastor Wes. And then in the second video, again, another selfie video just shot vertically on an iPhone. We had him and his wife both just kind of laughing and talking and inviting people out to church and inviting them out to plan a visit for the grand opening. And here's what's crazy. All of a sudden, the ads just exploded. The first week with just the video of Pastor Wes, we were paying about 30 cents per click. But all of a sudden, once we did a video and we added Pastor Jen in there, it cut the cost per click in half. And we went from 30 cents a click to 15 cents a click, right? So think about that. Every time we paid $1 to Facebook, we were getting 6 or 7 people who were then clicking on the ad and going to the landing page to learn more about the church and more about their grand opening. That's pretty cool. But did that actually translate into people? Well, at the end of week 2, they actually had 395 people at that service. So 350 when they started, 375 the first Sunday, and then 395 on the second Sunday. Okay, so before I get to my last couple of points, make sure to subscribe to this channel. We're putting out brand new videos every single day, 5 days a week. And if you subscribe to the channel and hit that little bell notification, then you'll get notified every single time we drop a new video. So we continued that rhythm of creating new videos every 4 to 7 days, and we made sure that we had both Wes and Jen in them, because every time we had both of them in a video, the cost per click was super low, and we were getting a lot more engagement and a ton more people who were going to the website and planning a visit for the grand opening. So in that third week, the cost per click dropped all the way down to 10 cents. So for every $1 that we were giving Facebook, we were having 10 people who were clicking on it and then going to the website to learn more about the church and plan a visit for the grand opening. And then at the end of week 3, they had 500 people who showed up to church and they hadn't even done the grand opening yet. And finally, on week 4, here we are, the grand opening. They had 800 people who showed up to the grand opening. Right? So 350 before they started, 375 the first week, 395 the second week, 500 the third week, and 800 at the grand opening on week 4. That's crazy, right? Can you imagine what would happen if your church doubled in 4 weeks, right? That's exactly what happened to Wes and Jen. And as we all know, whenever you have a big event or a big launch or something like that, you're always gonna have a ton of people, but then most of the time you settle to about half that. So every church planner kind of knows this math. So if your very first launch service has 200 people, your next week you'll have half of that, and you'll be running about 100, and then you'll settle at about half of that. So around 50 to 60 people. But with Wes and Jen, they had 800 people at the grand opening, and then they settled at 700. So their church literally went from 350 to 700 in only 4 weeks and literally doubled. In fact, on the day of the grand opening, I texted Pastor Wes to see how it went, and he actually sent me this text message right here. And the best part is, not only did he have 800 people in attendance, but 30 people raised their hands to receive Christ. Okay, so if you like this video and you want to learn more about how to use Facebook ads and social media in order to grow your church, then head on over to churchgrowthagency.com or click on the link in the description below. We have a free video over there walking you through a brand new social media strategy that has been working wonders for churches post-pandemic. Hope you're having a phenomenal day. We'll see you soon.